What's up everyone, it's DV, and today we're going to be making a seasonal auto farm for radishes, watermelon, and you got it, pumpkins. So if you remember my last seasonal farm just used conveyor, and pretty much you had to manually harvest and replant using the F key as well as the auto clicker for replanting. This one's actually going to be way more effective, and like the last one, it doesn't really require any macro for movement. So we're going to go over here, we're going to buy a bunch of totems. I don't know how many I need, I'm just going to buy a bunch of them. So let's get we'll go and get like 50 of these. You might not need this many, so I'm just making sure I have enough. 50 of those, and we got watermelon ones. These are still cheaper than star fruit. All right, so we got all 3 of those. So let's go back to my island. And where I'm going to put this, I'm actually going to put the entrance down here. So I'm actually going to put a little walkway. I do want to make sure we don't run into any issues with the inside of my island. So I'm not sure. Let's see. We might actually put it to the side a bit. You know, we'll just go through my island. We'll just run right through it. So let's go back over here and we're going to set up a conveyor system. So how it's going to work is we're going to knock this out and then we're going to go down a little bit, get rid of all these. Let's get some grass. Now this is going to take a lot of blocks. So you're probably going to need a lot more than 1,000 grass because we do have about like 600 blocks. Bring it down to about like right here. And we're going to just pretty much build all the way across here. And then we're going to go back under the mountain. So this is going to go all the way to edge of the island. So this is going to go to your max extent of your island. So it is a lot of blocks. So expect, you know, it's about 667 blocks technically. And then of course you're going to run into this issue. If you have anything like I do, you pretty much have to take that out. And the nice thing is this is going to make you so much coins. It's going to make you a ton. Now, because it is 660 blocks, it also means we're going to need a lot more totems than we have. Let's go and get rid of this. This is going right into our animal area, but that's okay. We're going to go right through our animal area. We'll go ahead and sell these guys for now. All right, so then one thing we want to do, so this is the edge right here. You want to back it off the wall because we're going to be using obby start flags. What happens is if you jump off and if you hit that invisible border, it will actually clear your flag. So your flag will actually be completely reset and we don't want that. So we want to make sure you back off the edge of the map a little bit. And then let's build this way. So we're going to be going under the mountain. All right, so we are at the edge on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to back off a little bit. So what we're going to need is about 3 on each side here like that. So you're going to go 7 wide. And so what we got to do now is we have to pretty much create a full lane here. Now the question is how long it's going to take us for us to travel. So let's go ahead and build our conveyor all the way over. So we're going to be able to time our full conveyor pretty much run through. We want to make sure at least 1 block above for your conveyors because you don't want to be covering up the potential for seeds under this. So we're just going to go all the way across. We're going to need about 600, maybe 620 conveyors, which is a lot of conveyors, I know. So you don't actually need this many. You just have to wait in between harvests. And so we're going to actually time this to see how long it takes to go from one side to another. We're going to make some more steel rods so we can make more conveyors. So make a couple of those. Let's make some conveyors. All right, that should be enough. So let's drop down. All right, so we built all the way to the edge. So now what we got to do is we got to time this. So let's go down. We're going to start at the very end here. So we're going to rush all the way to the other side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually time it. And so I'm going to actually run a timer at the same time and see how long it takes to get from one side to the other. And our goal here is going to be about 3.5 minutes tops. So we don't need it to be longer than 3.5 minutes because the slowest harvest for us is going to be radish with about 6 minutes and 20 seconds around there. So we need this to be a little bit over 3 minutes. So let's go ahead and start a timer in a second here. So this is about where we need to stop. So let's go ahead and put this right here. And the nice thing about this is by the time we do our next loop, then our next crops are going to be ready and fulfilled. So we don't actually need even this much. So what's going to happen is we just need to go 3 on both sides all the way to the edge here. So we might not actually need that much of a farm, but you're going to love this build, I think. I think this is one of the best builds to do. So we're going to have to do this for a bit. And so I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead so you don't have to watch me. So you don't have to watch me placing grass forever. All right, let's go buy some more grass. We ran out. I ran out of grass. So we got 3 on each side. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 3. So pretty much just going to fill in all the way until you get to the edge. All right, so let's go and build the rest of these. We'll finish up. Now, one thing to know, I just realized I could actually do, if you did run into a situation you didn't want to use like obby flags or anything like that, you can actually use a spawn block. And the nice thing about the spawn block is you could actually go edge to edge. So you don't have the issue with, you know, like flags clearing or anything like that. So you know how I was saying that if you go off the edge to the very edge of the world where your obby start flag would reset, well, spawn blocks don't have that issue. All right, we're almost done with this. I just have this little bit left to do and then we got to plow. I was thinking it would actually be really nice for plowing if we had like a diamond plow. Okay, so now we just got to plow it. So we are all done here. We're going to get our auto clicker going. So let's run all the way to the edge. We're going to put our spawn block over here. So that way if we fall off, we don't completely fall off. And remember, this is actually the center here. The conveyor belt itself is not the center. And this is only going to be single layer. We can do multi-layer later. But for this video, it's going to be only single layer. So what we need to do is we need to go and auto click. Let me get my auto clicker out. You don't have to auto click. It's just going to be so much faster. So you can see we can kind of just angle it. And then as long as we're angled like this, in fact, let me speed it up a bit. There we go. You can pretty much just kind of move your mouse around. In fact, the best way to do it, if you're going to do it like this, so with the conveyor, we can actually do this too. So I can just leave it going. Oh, we're going to miss some, but that's okay. We can finish those up afterwards. So lazy. I'm so lazy about this. If you think about it, it's still faster. It's still faster than running it. We're lagging the server so much. And once that's done, we're going to drop off and we'll finish the other side. All right, so now we're dropping down. And now we got to go clean this up. So let's go clean up the rest. And similarly, what we can do is we can just kind of angle this and auto click. All right, so that's all cleared up. Now we can actually start planting. So what we're going to start with is actually all of our watermelon. So let's go get our watermelon out. Let's also put a spawn block down so we can spawn back here. So we're going to go and put that right under, we'll actually put it right under here. So that way when I fall off, I should spawn on top of the conveyor. And that way we still also have a place to plant. So let's get our watermelon out. There it is. And we also need radishes and pumpkin seeds. So we might run out of this really quick, but we're going to start off with these. Now we do need to place our totems first. So let's go and get our totems out as well. So we got our pumpkin, our watermelon, and we've got our radish. So let's go ahead and start with our watermelons out. So we're going to go one. It's going to be every other, because for future kind of expansion, we want to be able to make a hole through here and do a 2-layer. So we can actually double layer this up later once we actually do a full lane, if we ever do. I probably won't do that again because it's really laggy. All right, so I don't go too far with this because we might run out of watermelon seeds. Let's go ahead and just plant our seeds. And you want to double side it. Make sure you're double siding it. So you can see there, again, there's 3 on each side. We're going to go and plant in the middle in between the totems for now. In the future, we won't. But for now, because the space is there, we might as well. But later on, there's going to be a hole there for a different totem. Fill all these in. Now, one thing you're going to notice is I don't have any conveyors next to these totems, and that's completely intentional. If you haven't seen my auto farm video where it's like the most OP auto farm you'll ever see, definitely check that video out. It is a totem farm. So it purely uses totems just like this, so you're not going to actually have any conveyors hooked up to it. You're going to be surprised by this. This is something that a lot of people don't realize they should do in the game, and it's incredibly powerful. All right, so we kind of ran out right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get rid of this. And we're going to move over to the other type of crop. So that should be fine here. Now we're going to go to radishes. Actually, no, you know what? We'll do pumpkins next. Now, the downside of this is you're going to be harvesting a lot of stuff that you can't sell until it's time. On top of that, the watermelon guy, you kind of have to find him during the summer. So he's not guaranteed to actually show up. So let's go ahead and start planting our pumpkins. We'll do this side and we'll do the other side and we'll expand it as needed. Hopefully we have enough seeds all the way to the edge though. We might not. If that's the case, we're going to have to go buy some more. Watermelon seeds are really expensive right now. So if you're actually buying them from other vendors, you're going to see that they're worth anywhere between 100,000 to 150,000 as of this video, which is very expensive. All right, so we have enough still, so let's go and put some more totems down. Oh yeah, we're going to run out for sure. All right, so we ran out of that. So now we're going to have to switch over to radishes. So let's go ahead and put one right here. Yes, there is a double gap there intentionally. Actually, let's go and skip this a little bit. I guess we can just go and plant this right here. So radishes. So we're going to gap this a little bit just to give it some space between the transition. I think I should have done that a little bit on the other one too. This should be all right. And then let's go ahead and set up every other again. So it definitely looks like we ran out of seeds, but I think I have some more on my alt either way. And so pretty much when this settles, it's going to take a little while, but when this actually settles where these are still like, once these are fully ripe across the board, then we know everything's settled, right? And at that point we can actually start harvesting. So for now, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go check my alt to see if I have more pumpkin seeds and more radish seeds, because I might be able to make a really, really cool farm if I do. So let's go check. All right, so I got some more seeds here so we can actually go and fill in some more. So let's put some more radishes out. Let's get some more radish totems out. So the more the better. Obviously, you want to try to fill this entire strip out if you can. All right, let's see how much we can do this time. All right, let's get some more pumpkin totems out. We'll probably want to space this again a little bit. The server's lagging so bad. It's struggling. In fact, let's plow this. That way nothing gets planted there. So from this point, it's completely up to you. You can actually add other types of, totems if you want. If you want to do like, maybe you want to do some star fruit or something, you could totally do that. I've got star fruit on my other island. I don't really want to deal with that right now. So we're going to actually just go and deal with what we got here. And then what we're going to do from here is I will continue to expand on this. So you don't need to actually start with the full strip if you don't have everything. Just build what you can. And I'm going to show you how this works. A lot of people are still confused by this and I'm going to explain it. So obviously these are still working working, right? So right here, these are still, you know, regrowing. It's not really harvesting anymore. So these, I know these are full because of that, except for this side. This side is still obviously, these totems are still working. And then these are obviously working because I just planted these. So let's go back to the start. We're going to plant another spawn. All right. So I think everything should be grown by now. I know it's really dark. It's just the lighting in the game. But if you can see, it looks like everything has grown. It looks like some of the radishes. Looks like we got a little space here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to plow that just because we don't like open spaces, because otherwise what's going to happen is things are going to start shifting down and it's a really bad effect. So we'll just have to get replacement seeds for these later. But if you see any slots or open slots, make sure you fill them either with more seeds or just fill them with, like, you know, plow them like this. That way you don't have things start shifting around a little bit weird. You just want everything to be kind of snug. If you see any other open slots, you want to fill those up with by just plowing. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually just kind of spam the F key. And so you're going to pretty much just be tapping this every couple, like it's about like once a second, and you can auto this if you want. In fact, let me go do this. Let me actually put these in here so you can see how much we're getting. I get my radishes and pumpkins. You can see we're getting about 12 per second, something like that. So this can be completely automated. Right here, we should be falling off, but I totally messed up. Let me extend this out. Oops, let's extend this out. I'm pretty much going to be doing this, right? So you can see we get 6 every single time we come through here from every single totem. Now the question is whether or not this is better than the other farm that I did with the sickle, my sickle farm. And I'd actually say this is not as good as that to some degree, but the difference is you don't actually, this is a very lazy farm. The nice thing about totems, you don't have to replant. So it skips the entire replanting process. So again, why you can actually make so much more being an active grinder, which is really always the case, right? Passive grinding is going to give you more longevity because you don't actually have to be present, right? That's a true AFK farm. Whereas the last one was a little hard because you had to macro it completely. You know, you had to hope that it would actually replant everything correctly. And this one's way more time effective for you. So if you don't have a whole lot of time, then this is actually perfect. So I'm actually going to make this as a macro. Now this is completely mobile friendly. You don't actually have to. You don't need a macro for this. Mobile. The nice thing about mobile is you can actually do an auto clicker. And you can pretty much just sit here and auto click the totems to gather from them. So I've only been doing this for about, I'd say, I think I'm only maybe in like 6 minutes of this so far, if that. Now the nice thing is if you really wanted to go like really fast with this, you could just sprint down. Look at this. You can pretty much just jam. So again, a really great way to farm. This is actually really powerful for onions. So if you want to make a really awesome farm for onions, you could do that with this as well. So the other thing you could do if you had a lot of resources, though, why would you be doing this if you had a lot of resources? But if you did, you can actually go and upgrade the utility on these and basically just, you know, unload on this, and you can see it'll actually increase the growth rate of things. And the range on these are really good. It does actually share for everything, by the way. So it does actually stack. So if you want to do it for multiple totems, you can. And you don't have to do the full thing. If you have a lot of wood and stuff, you can pretty much just go as high as you can on these. And so you can see I'm increasing all of these. And by increasing it, I'm actually also making it so that I'm going to get more every single time I come through. And we want lots of watermelon. That's key because each watermelon is a lot of coins. So let's go sell to our dude here. Let's go and drop off. All right, so let's talk to this guy and we're going to sell our pumpkins. So we got 24,000 so far. So pretty much we can make a ton every hour on this, you know, just kind of leave it AFK for a while. So you might be wondering, DV, why would I do this over just a chest, right? Well, it depends on what you're trying to do and how many crops you're going to be doing, because in this situation, I could completely expand this out with onions or starfruit or whatever I had crops of, right? So watch this. Once it's actually grown, it's going to cycle and it's going to alternate its cycle. So what that means is first 30 seconds is not doing a thing. So you're actually losing out on your crops quite a bit. You're actually reducing your totem's efficiency by 50% when you do this. So like if you're actually out here and you're just kind of gathering like this, now it does take 30 seconds for it to, you know, collect, right? So it is still 30 seconds. It's got to kind of like pause, wait 30 seconds, and it's going to collect. And then you can gather it again right away. Whereas with the conveyor types, you have to wait a full cycle, a full minute. All right, so you see how that's ready? We got to wait for the totem timer. All right, now there's a bunch of them ready. Bunch of them ready. As soon as it hits that 30-second timer, it's going to collect. You see it just collected. It just replanted. You don't see a single carrot coming off this, right? Now I could gather it. So what's going to happen is it's holding on to that carrot right now, and it's not deploying it to the conveyor. What does that mean? You're wondering, what does that mean, DB? What it means is as soon as this actually gathers, I can grab it from it. So that's a 30-second savings on your harvest compared to this thing. And plus, look at this. You got oily crops issues. Now that's only going to be for carrots and certain, you know, crops. But again, the fact is you have to wait 30 seconds before you can actually even harvest the thing, unless you grabbed it directly from it, but that's not how you're going to use auto farms, right? Typically in an auto farm is you got this setup and then they're going to drop downstairs into a chest, right? So that's the big difference between this format and this format, is that you don't have to wait for that 30 seconds. So pretty much they're ready to go right away, and then they're going to immediately replant. So it's actually way better because it's never deploying. It's just constantly replanting. It's gathering and storing every 30 seconds. Whereas the other ones gather, replant, and then deploy after 30 seconds. Now, whether or not it's OP is another question. I would actually say this is not the most OP way to do it. If I had a lot more seeds, if I had like maybe 1,000 seeds of each of these, I could make a really good farm. The problem is it's so expensive, and I invested a lot of money in these seeds here for these watermelons. So it's definitely, you know, it's a little pricey. It's definitely a pricey build. The totems aren't so bad. It's the watermelon seeds that are expensive. So, I mean, they're going to, like I said, they're going for about 100,000 a piece. It's not really even worth doing. You might want to go after maybe radishes and pumpkins, maybe. It's still a really great way to make money though. So you can see I've got a lot more, you know, space here. I've got all the way to the end of the map. I can actually, you know, pretty much fill in with a bunch of totems. So it's going to be so much better after this. So I'm pretty much going to redo all of this. It's going to be pretty awesome. So that is going to be it for us today. I hope you enjoyed the vid. And also, just as a reminder, there is the live stream coming up on Friday. So just don't miss out on that. That's for the new game, and I really can't wait for it. So be sure to catch that live stream when it's time. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.